components that we get to see here. The first thing that we see is the drop down. This is the apps drop down. This is the app menu. All right, all your apps will be listed here. Now, quick thing, Salesforce provides you a few apps by default. So you get standard apps from Salesforce. Why I call it standard? Because those are standard across all organizations, all customers, right? So if you create, you will also see now the sales app. See, this is Venkat's login here. Also, he sees these standard apps. And when Ravi creates his login, he also views these apps, right? So these are standard apps. In addition to this, Salesforce allows us to create our own custom apps, right? So that is something which we'll learn during the training. How do we create our own apps and everything? So we can include our custom apps as well here. So all standard as well as custom apps will be available under this list, okay, this app menu. Then there is a link to the help topics, so you can just click on this link and go to the help window. Then there is a setup link. The setup link usually is used for opening the setup menu in the left hand side. You see this entire left hand side is the setup menu, okay. Setup menu is used for making any changes on for the setup of the app or the users or anything, right? So whatever you want to do on the app, you have to use the setup menu. All right. So this is a complete menu which allows you to make changes in the app, users, visibilities, accessibilities, permissions. So everything will be controlled from the setup menu. All right. Then you would say you would see your name here. Just click on your name and there's something called logout. We understand. There's my settings options. This my settings basically will allow you to see the data, make changes to your personal settings. Okay, see your password and change it and all that stuff, right? So click on my settings to make personal setting changes. Okay, your password, your first name, last name, email ID, username. If you want to change these things, you can definitely go to my settings. So apart from your personal setting, whatever else, whatever you want to change, you always have to go to the setup menu. All right. For your personal setting changes, you have to go to my settings. Okay. The other thing that we have here is a developer console. So just click on developer console. Developer console is something that we will use later, but I just wanted to show you. This is the place where you are going to write your programs and codes. Okay, so this is where we write the code. This is where we can write queries to fetch the data and all that stuff, right? So this is the console for developers, where the developers can come and write their code and everything, debug the code, run the code, execute the code. So everything is done here, right? So we don't need this. Please go ahead.
I'm sorry, Ravali. How did you get that developer console? Can you please show it again?
Just when you click on your name, under my settings, developer console is there, right?
Okay, thanks.
So this developer console is something that we will use after a few sessions, maybe after a couple of weeks, because we are not gonna start writing program from day one. That is something that I was hearing Nikhil say, that he has gone through some Apex programming. So Nikhil, programming part we'll get into that a little later, because Salesforce has two ways of development. One is declarative, one is using the programming, okay, using codes. So first of all, we will work on the declarative side, and as a best practice also, Salesforce always recommends that try to customize or design your application using declarative methods. Declarative means without using program. So use declarative methods wherever possible. So don't start writing a code until and unless it is required. Okay, so that is one thing. And second thing is that apart from declarative methods of development, we are also going to get look into a few basic things. How do we do the basic setup and configure our Salesforce CRM? So those things we are going to see. So developer console is something that will come later, maybe after, as I said, after a couple of weeks or so. So that is there. Okay. So, and then the next thing that we see here are the tabs. Apart from all this, what we see are these tabs: home, chatter, campaign, leads, accounts, right? So home tab is basically for the home page. Chatter is an internal communicator for your company. You see this? So if you have multiple users in the company, they can use this chatter for internal communications. So they can do a chatting. They can also use the chatter page for putting some status updates and all, and share it with others. Okay. So just think of an internal your organization's internal Facebook kind of a thing, where all the company related information which needs to be shared amongst people can be easily shared. Okay, so the chatter allows you to share things quickly. Let's say there is a big company and your entire sales team is following up with this big company. Now what happens there is if there is the deal that you have received from that company. So there is this company and there are 5 different sales people who are following up with that company to sell some product to that company. Now once you have got a deal from them, after that you definitely don't want to call them. You don't want that some other salesperson again calls them and says, oh please buy this. Okay, so you can quickly put a status update that okay fine, we have already closed this deal, or I'm already talking to this person, please don't communicate with that company anymore. So that sort of thing, correct? So quick shares can be done using this. You can post things, you can share the files, you can share events and more things, right? So everything can be done here. All right. So this chatter is again a big advantage of Salesforce. I mean, the companies which use Salesforce, they get chatter for free, right? So that is something that they can easily use within their company, and they can have a better communication within the team or within the company itself. Okay, so that is there. So we understand these 2 tabs. After this, starting from the campaigns, these are all tabs which are connected to the backend database. Okay. So as we have talked about it earlier that okay, CRM is what? CRM is client data, information of current and future customers, right? Right. So CRM is what? It's basically the information of the current and future customers. That is what CRM is. So as we have understood that part, so basically to store all this information of the customers and the customer related information, what we need a database. So in the backend there is a database, okay, and these tabs connect you to those database tables. Database is again what? Collection of tables, right? So each tab connects you to a table in the backend database. Like campaigns will connect you to the campaigns table, which will have all the information related to the campaigns that we are doing. Leads will be connected to all the leads and all, right? Accounts will be connected to the accounts that we have. So we have different tables in the backend, and these tabs are connectors to those tables. Okay. So if you click on campaign, you can easily go and click on new to add a new campaign. Okay, so if you're doing a new campaign next month, maybe February 15th, you can just track it here. Got that? Let me know if you have any questions here. We're good. You understand what we're talking about, right? And there is another thing that I want to tell you is MVC framework. Anyone who is aware of what is this MVC? Heard MVC word anywhere? Have you heard of this terminology?
Model view controller.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Model view controller. I think that was Ravi, right? Or Nikhil?
On Nikhil, sir.
Okay, great. So now, Nikhil, can you tell us what is this model, what is view, what is controller?
So, okay, controller is we get the data from the database. Weave is like what you weave, and model is the type which we use. I'm not sure, but
Okay, that's absolutely fine, no problem. So basically this MVC is a framework, and it's a three-layer framework, a framework of an application framework where the application has three layers. Okay, so MVC framework has these three layers. One is called model, one is called view, one is called controller. Okay, so what is this model layer? Model is the database. Okay, that is there in the backend. View is the front end user interface. Okay, so there is a database in the backend. There is a front end user interface, what the end users get to see. Controller is basically the set of logics, set of controlling logics. Alright, so this is what an MVC framework is, and Salesforce application is designed on this MVC framework. So it has a database in the backend, it has a front end interface that we can see, and then it has set of controlling logics. A controller or set of controlling logics is something which is very important. You cannot manage without that, right? Set of controlling logics is always required. So that's there. But overall, this is what this MVC thing is. Clear on this? Got it. So what the tabs that we see here, these are a part of view. Okay, but clicking on this allows you to interact with the model layer, the one that is there in the backend, the database. You can click on new button here, and then you can enter a data into that database. Okay, let's say let's say product demo 2015. Right. You got this? So this is how it is. So we have model, view, and then controller. So we have understood this part. So after this session, what basically I want you all to do is go through these tabs. Just click on these tabs. Try to enter some data into each of these objects. Then try to edit the data, delete data. The reason why I'm asking this is I want you to get a little more familiar with this interface, how data is entered, how it is removed, and all that stuff. So that you start feeling more comfortable with this interface, and while we are talking about actual things, changing things here and there, you don't feel too much of difficulty in navigations. Okay. So that is the reason why after this session, one of a small activity that you will have is to go ahead and navigate through things, try to enter data, delete, edit, see how things are related to each other and all. Okay. So now apart from this, what we are going to do is we are going to do a little bit of personal setup and company setup. Okay, so I'll tell you how it works with Salesforce. I want you to understand things right from the beginning. So let's say you are a company, okay, and you decide to have your CRM. Now, as a company, when you decide to have CRM, you have a lot of options available in the market, including Siebel, right? So you have Salesforce, you have Siebel, and you have Microsoft Dynamics. There are so many options, right? So you have to decide which one you want to go for. Let's make things simpler here. I say that okay, fine. As a company, we have decided to go with Salesforce.com. Okay. Now, once you decide with Salesforce.com, the next thing that you have to do is you have to decide which edition you need and how many licenses do you need. Okay, so edition if you go here on the salesforce.com website, and if you just go to the product pricing, you will see this. Go to products and then click on pricing. Okay. So you see that there are different types of editions, starting from a group edition which is just $25, professional and unlimited $250, right? So the pricing is changing based on the edition, okay, and the features also change based on edition. So a group edition only allows you to have account, contact, opportunity, lead management. Professional edition allows you to have campaigns. Enterprise edition allows you to have the automation part done, workflows and approval automation, right? So this feature wise, I think you will start understanding gradually once we do a little bit of more into this course. You will start understanding which all features and all that stuff. So let's not get into the features thing. The point is that first thing that you have to decide is which edition you need as a company, right? Which eventually you will start understanding, or you will be able to suggest to your client that this is the right edition for you based on the requirement that they have. And the second thing that a company decides is how many licenses they need. So how many licenses mean how many people they have, how many users do they have. Based on that they will take the licenses. They will say if I have 20 users I will take 20 licenses, right? So that is the thing. So once this part is done, once my decision has been done for my company that I need 10 licenses, you approach salesforce.com, okay, and you say that you need 10 licenses. Now Salesforce will create one license, one login ID password for you. Okay, Salesforce will create one login ID and password for you, and it will just leave other it will provide you with other licenses. Okay, so out of 10, 1 they will create and 9 rest you can create on your own. Got it? Now first thing that this person has to do, the first person whose login has been created, this person has to go and then do the setup changes on Salesforce, right? So first is doing the personal setup, so this person can definitely go to my settings, and from here, so I'm talking about the step 1 when you get the first license from Salesforce. What will you do? Change the password, right? Because Salesforce guys have created that. You do not definitely would not want to use the same password. So that is where you will do the personal setup. Go to my personal setup, personal information. In case you want to change the first name, last name, alias, email ID, whatever you want to make changes, you will do there. You want to change the password, you can change it from here. Okay, so this should be your first thing. Okay, in case you have received the first license from Salesforce, this is the first thing that you do. Once you have done this thing, you can now go ahead and start creating other users, but we'll talk about creating other users later. Before that, we are going to talk about the company setup. So once you are done with your personal setup, you should do the company setup. So there are quite a few things that you need to do on your company setup. So in company setup, first is the general information. Okay, of your company. Second is local information. Okay, which includes things like the time zone, which time zone your company uses, the currency in which your company deals in, and the language. Okay, so you have to set the general info for your company, which general info includes the name of the company, website, phone, fax, these things, industry and all that stuff. So how do we do this company setup? Let's have a quick look. You have to go to the setup menu. Right now the setup menu is already open, so I don't need to click on this. If it was not visible here, I would have clicked on this thing. Now under setup, you have company profile. Click on company profile and go to company information. Okay, and this is where you can put all your company details. Okay, and you also get to see some useful information here, like used data space, used file space. So how much of space have you used so far? 6% of data storage you have already utilized. So you can click on edit and put the general information, address information, phone, fax, street, city, zip codes, country, whatever. Locale settings, which includes your what is the default local language here, what's the time zone, what currency you are using. Okay, so all that needs to be defined here. Done.
Sir, I have a question. Like, every developer has access to change this company sales.
Oh, sorry, what is that? Will every?
Does every profile user or else the developer have the access to change the company information?
No, administrator. You need admin permissions for doing this. Got it?
Okay.
So see, basically, right now what we are looking at is not the job of a developer as such, it's the job of an administrator. But when we become a developer, we will be required to take care of the admin job also sometimes, right? So that is there. Okay. So company information, company setup that we have seen, we do. Apart from this, you also have to set up the fiscal year for the company, which is again important. Why is it important? Because if you set the correct fiscal year for your company, while you do reports and all, you can use these fiscal years for doing proper reporting. Let's say you are doing a report on the current financial quarter. You say, okay, give me a report of this financial quarter, or you say, I want to pull a report of last financial quarter. So your Salesforce can only understand your last quarter if you have defined your fiscal year properly. Whether your fiscal year starts in January or April, or is it a 3 months quarter, or it's a 14 weeks quarter. If it understands it properly, then only it can use the dates properly, right? So you have to define your fiscal year here. So it's pretty simple. You just have to go and say that, okay, fine, my fiscal year starts in April or January, whenever. Okay, fiscal year is based on the ending month or the starting month. Okay, so let's keep it for the ending month. Most of the places it is used as ending month, so that's fine. Okay, so financial year needs to be defined here. So this is something where we don't have to decide, or we don't have to take a call. This is something which the company already might be following. We just need to understand that, okay, when their fiscal year starts, if that starts in April, we just have to go and set it up. Doing this small activity will help us a lot in the reporting. Okay, so once we get into the reporting part, you will see how easy reporting becomes once you have set the right fiscal year. Okay, then you can define the business hours here. In the company profile, there is an option where you can define the business hours. In business hours, basically what you have to define, you define what all time your company or your a certain team in the company works. Okay, why are we defining business hours here? What is the reason for that? Can anyone think of it? What is the use of defining business hours? Business hours means if I am working from 9 to 6, or if I am working from 9 to 7. Why is that important? Fiscal year, we understand setting up fiscal year will help us in reporting. How will
So we
business
will
hours
get
help
the
us?
reports. Yeah, we will get the reports in that particular hour. Like, if I am the PSD zone and I have set in the company profile that, my business hours are from 9 to 5 PST, I will get in my reports. Even, if you are an Eastern user, I will still get in my specific time, like, So,
No, that's not correct. Business hours is important because Salesforce has something called cases. You see cases, which means your CRM can also track customer cases. Case is basically something like a complaint or a customer issue, right? Now this business hours that you are tracking, this will help you understand if a case has been resolved within a certain defined time limit or not. Okay, and if that is not resolved within that defined time limit, it can be automatically escalated. So this business hours concept is used for escalating the cases. Got that thing? So this cases will be used for business hours will be used for escalating the cases. Clear? So that is what we have.
Yes, sir.
Then holidays we have here. You can define holidays. Why do we need to define holidays again here? So you read this line, this will be clear. So holidays are the dates and time at which your business hours are suspended. Okay, so let's say if my business hour is from 9 to 7, but that 9 to 7 should not get counted on a Sunday because I'm not working on a Sunday, right? If we don't define proper holidays, then what will happen? All the cases will get escalated on Sunday. Sunday the team is not there, but my escalation rule calculates the Sunday hours. Then what happens? All the cases get escalated on a Sunday, which is not correct because the team was not working, right? So that is the thing. Your holidays need to be defined. Those can be your weekly holidays, those can be one-time holidays, whatever holidays you have, everything has to be defined here. So you can just click on new. If it's a recurring holiday, Saturday, Sunday, just define that. Okay, it's very important because if till the time you don't define holidays properly, your escalation rules will not work properly. Clear? So this is all in the company setup, basically what you have to do. So we just saw that few basic things for the company setup that you can do. You can define the fiscal year, you define the business hours of your team. And it's not just one business hour that you can define multiple business hours. Okay, so let's say you have a team in Canada, the other team is in Australia, you can define different business hours for them. Fine. Let's say Canada team works 7 hours in a day and the Australian team works 8 hours in a day. So you can have different business hours defined so that the escalations also happen accordingly. Okay. Clear? So that's about the company setup. So you can do your company setup this way. Now once you have set
Sir,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I have a question. Like how do we set up multiple locations? Like Australia, America, India, UK. Because everyone has different holidays, right? But we are creating one company profile. They might be in different zones.
Okay. So you don't have to set multiple locations. Basically what you can do is you can have different languages. See, location wise, basically while you are putting the company profile or when we are putting the company information, here we are talking about the head office. So you can put whatever is your head office address and everything here, right? Now people do not need different locations. Let's say we are running a company, let's say we talk about IBM. Now IBM is doing business in let's say in UK, they are in France, they are in China, and they are in US and India. Okay, so if you are maintaining the CRM for IBM, you don't have to have different addresses. I mean, for your CRM, you don't need to have address of UK, France, and all that stuff. In case you need, you can have a custom setting for that. We will talk about that a little later. But initially, you don't need. What do I need? There are two things which you will need. One is language. Language can be an issue. The people who are sitting in, my team in France, they might not understand English. They want to see things in French. So language option we do have, and the other thing can be currency. If I have clients from different currencies, and if I'm selling products in different currencies, so while I'm tracking a deal, that currency has to be different. So in this company information, if you see, you have default language. So default language can be again the language that most of your users are using, and currency you have an option of using a multiple currency. So you can see, check a multiple currency option. Okay, so checking this box is the first step in enabling multiple currencies in your organization. To complete the process, contact your salesforce.com representative. So usually with a developer edition we don't get this option, but if you have a paid edition they allow you to have multiple currencies. Okay, now what happens to the language? We have just defined the default language for the company. However, for the user also you have that option of giving a different language. So for this organization at this point of time, English is the default language, right? But for user you can go and change the language and time zone. Got it? So if I want French for this particular user and I want a different location for this user, I can do it. Fine. So in your team, anyone who is from a different location or from a different language or a different time zone, you can set it for the user. Got it?
Okay.
So what we have set up in the company information is the default. You can go to users. Out of these 10 users, I told you that there are 10 licenses, right? Out of these 10, if you have 2 from China and 2 from France, you can go and set their location and language to Chinese and French. You can absolutely go ahead and do that. Got it?
Yes, sir. But how about cases? Even for cases, we need like business hours and holidays, right? We need to set them up accordingly to the location.
So for cases, why do you need location? Case is going to be connected to the account. Got it? Now account has its own location.
Okay. I'm telling about like when a lead is converting. I mean for an example, a lead is from UK. Okay, and there is someone who is closing it. Okay, in UK. From that standpoint.
No, you tell me one simple logic. Will you be interested in tracking the location of the client or the person who closed it? Definitely the information of the client. That is important, right?
Okay, I now understand. Yeah.
There are many companies which have their sales office in India. But the client, if the client is in Australia, they need to track that part. They are not interested in where the sales guy was sitting. Was he sitting in India or Sri Lanka? But he's more interested. The company is interested in where the client came from, right? So on the lead itself, you will have the country and state field of that lead. So that is there. Got it? I think once you start putting a little more data into this, these things will become a little more clearer.
Yes, sir.
Got it? Okay. So this is basically the first setup that we need to do. So I would not discuss anything else today because just want to keep it a little simple today. Once we meet tomorrow, we are going to get a little more into the configuration part and start understanding those things. Okay. Small assignment for you all will be you just created your developer editions, so I can understand that this environment looks a little new to you. Try entering a few data. As I told you, just go to these campaigns, enter some data, and then try and navigate through things here and there. Okay, that will be very helpful. Once you attend the session tomorrow, things are going to be easy for you. Okay, to look into and to understand. All right. The only thing that we are quickly going to do before we leave is understand this flow. Okay, I'll quickly explain you about this flow: campaign, lead, account, contact, opportunities, things. Okay, and then we will again meet tomorrow. So see, a company's marketing activities will be tracked under campaigns. Okay. All the inquiries that a company receives, leads, we understand what a lead is, right? Lead is where a person who has inquired for a product, those information will go into leads. Accounts are the actual accounts with which the company deals. So it can be an individual, it can be a company. Okay, so account is basically a client or a prospect for me. Contact is basically the point of contacts under the account. So if I'm doing business with IBM, so I need some people in IBM who I am interacting with, right? So those people information will be tracked under contacts. Opportunity is basically a prospect deal where you track that, okay, what are you, what is the opportunity, what can you sell, what will be the value for that, what is the amount for that, when is the close of that opportunity, right? So an opportunity needs to be tracked here. Forecast, report and dashboard we'll talk later, so this has got more to do with the reporting part. Contract is the table where we track all the contracts or agreements that we have with the customers. Orders are the orders that we have received from the customers. Cases are the customer cases or issues, the customers issues that they have raised. Solutions are the common solutions. Okay, so if there are a few common questions that you receive from your customers every now and then you can track them under the solutions table, and this will help you what do you say, this will help you quickly refer back to that, so your customer support team or something can quickly refer to the solutions table and find solution of the most common problems. Okay, here product is the table where you can list all your products. All right, so this is how it is. So marketing activities, leads, accounts, contacts, opportunities, contracts, orders, cases, solutions, products, right? Now this is what they have given. This is something which has been provided by salesforce.com. Apart from this, one thing that we understand very easily is that this is not what every company will require. Some companies may have additional requirements, some companies might want additional things and all. So anything apart from this, what Salesforce has provided, anything apart from this, in addition to this, you require, we will go ahead and create those. Okay. Let's say I need one more table for tracking invoices. So what do I do there? I'll need to create one more table for invoices, right? So that is what we are going to do. Clear? So that is it. Anyone has any questions? Seems simple, no difficult thing as of now for today's session.
Sir, actually I have a question.
Yes, please tell me, sir.
So what about reports?
What about?
What about reports? There's an app for reports, right?
Yes.
So what is that?
Yeah, this reports tab basically, this is something which does not connect you to the database. This basically allows you to create a report of your data, right? So this reports, we are actually gonna do one complete session on reports. So once we go into that, then we'll go ahead. It will take you to a report builder screen where you can build your own report. Okay, so the same way dashboard allows you to build a dashboard, forecast allows you to do a forecast. So that is something which we'll do after a few sessions. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. So, but apart from these three tabs, apart from report, dashboard, and forecast, everything else is simple. It is just entering the data into the table. That's it. So you don't have to do anything there. So I just wanted to work on other things. Just skip the forecast, report, and dashboards as of now, and try to enter some data, delete, edit, make some changes, and all that stuff. Right. Okay. So that is one thing, and a quick thing that I wanted to check before we leave and we meet for tomorrow. So just start of the session we were talking on this. Ravi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just 1 minute. I think Ravali has a question here. Okay, cases, Ravali, cases are basically our customer issues or customer complaints. A case with the complaint. Let's say I've sold a product to the customer and the customer is not happy, he is not able to deal with it. That will come as a case, right? So cases is basically for the customer complaints and issues.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So the other thing that I wanted to do is discuss a little on the timings of these sessions. So what timings would work for us, and what will be the time for the session. I thought it will be good if once we all are here. So I think I've checked with Nikhil. Nikhil is pretty much available. Ravi, how about this 9 a.m. Eastern time And Ravali, you also
Yeah.
please tell me 9 a.m. Eastern time. Does that work for you?
9 a.m. is fine for me, sir.
So Ravi, it works. Nikhil works.
Actually, that is 6 a.m. in the morning.
9 a.m. Eastern time.
It's 6 a.m. for me in the morning. Yeah, that's okay. I'll try.
And that's fine. Now you will have the entire day with you to practice. Right. How about you, Ravali? 9 a.m. Eastern.
I'm good, Jeet. Thank you.
9 a.m. Eastern works. Okay.
Yeah.
So because
Sir, actually,
yeah, tell me.
so when is this session going to start at 9 a.m.? When it is?
We can start from tomorrow morning. That is yeah. So from tomorrow morning we can move into
So
the
actually,
Huh.
9 a.m. I'm not comfortable with that starting from tomorrow. That is only possible for me from next week.
So sorry, what is that?
No, basically, I'm not able to. I won't be able to attend this at 9 a.m. Eastern time from tomorrow.
Okay. So when you can attend that time?
From next week.
Okay. So I think Balaji was telling me that you have an issue with this 9:30